So what's good, TMG fam? It's your boy L, and I'm back with another reaction. How y'all feel? Welcome back to the channel. Salute. All right, so listen, we back for some more conspiracy theories and unexplained mysteries. But before we get to the video, you know it's unplugged time, right? I need y'all to help me unplug some more people out of the Matrix. And you do that by smashing the like button and then in the comment section, putting hashtag unplugged. All right, do that. And if you're new, hit the subscribe button and join the fam. That's it. All right. That being said, let's get to the video. Here we go.
So we don't care what anybody says. We don't care how many people dismiss out of hand. Oh, you're crazy. We think the fact that there are objects floating around in our atmosphere and apparently outside it that are not of human origin, but are that it clearly intelligently controlled, is a huge story. In fact, it's hard to think of a bigger story. And I know it's not about January 6th, but it's important and it has extraordinary implications for all of us. Scientists have now detected mysterious radio signals coming from space. What does that mean exactly? We don't know. Michio Kaku is a theoretical physicist and one of the people who's been paying closest attention to this and one of the most knowledgeable on this. He joins us to explain. Thanks so much for joining us. So what do you think this is, or what could it be?
Well, these are called FRBs, fast radio bursts. They are among the biggest explosions of radio energy in the entire universe. They generate more energy than 1 billion suns. The energy in radio frequencies is so great that eventually the entire universe will be aware of this one explosion. And then the question is, what drives these things? Colliding black holes, neutron stars being gobbled up? Well, your guess is as good as mine, but some people believe in renegade theories that perhaps there's a design to some of these things.
Do they seem to be behaving in a way that suggests a design, an intelligent design?
Well, first of all, we've detected 500 of these bursts of radio radiation.
500?
Most of them are irregular. They burst once in a millisecond and then they're gone forever. But recently in the Chinese radio telescope, they were able to show that their bursts are periodic. And some people are saying
500? 500. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say a number. Maybe we have and I just don't remember. Foggy memory. But 500, that seems like a lot, bro, right? Or you can look at it a different way, and when you zoom out and look at space in its entirety and how much is actually inside, that could be just a little bit. It could be just getting started. It could be, I don't know. You know what I mean? But this right here starts to play into the whole narrative of, is there communication out there are they trying to communicate with us? What's going on here? And we're just ignoring the signals?
Maybe, just maybe there's a reason for that. You see, if you were an alien civilization and you want to have a coming out party, so to speak, wouldn't you want to advertise to the entire universe that you have come of age? And that's what these bursts of radiation can do. They will eventually permeate the entire universe. Now, if that sounds crazy to you, just realize that even on the Earth, astronomers about 2 years from now will celebrate the fact that 50 years ago we sent a message saying that we have come of age. Carl Sagan was the one who famously got this information together about who we are, and they broadcasted it to the heavens so that some alien civilization will pick it up and perhaps encounter us and say, hi, we picked up your invitation for your coming out party.
I totally forgot about that. Exactly. He's definitely right in what he's saying with that. I forgot about that.
Interesting. Well, they, haven't shown any malicious intent so far, whatever this is. Professor Kaku, I appreciate you coming on today. It's great to see you. Thank you.
On the 19th of October 2017, we were visited by something that scientists couldn't initially explain. It was called Oumuamua, and astronomers first noticed this object travelling through our solar system. The object in question had come from another solar system, and people quickly started to speculate what this object was. A.V. Loeb, who is the chair of Harvard's Department of Astronomy, claims that he thinks he's found proof of extraterrestrials, and this comes in the form of Oumuamua. Now though one resident from East Lake is attempting to make contact with the space object, and goes on to question why scientists haven't tried this yet, saying that researchers are quick to say that this thing is a rock, but yet haven't tried to send signals to it. It's rare that we have objects like this fly by us, so he found it strange why they wouldn't attempt to make contact with it. Mr. Hill and his team will use a powerful radio transmitter and antenna array which is located in Arizona, saying that their plan is to send signals to Oumuamua in the hopes of getting some type of response. The transmission was sent on Christmas Eve, and went on until...
Question is though, if you don't receive anything back, what's your next move? What's the next move? I feel like we playing chess here. Oumuamua is out there, we know it's there, and we have our speculation of what it could possibly be, right? And if we send a signal to it and don't get a response, what's our next move? Are we going to engage? Oh, it's interesting to think though.
Till December 26th. Mr. Hill said the following: "You know, I think it's very important, to transmit back to this object. They're actually pointing the array and the antenna in the direction of Oumuamua. Truly, if we're not alone, and what the team members believe is that when Oumuamua came through our solar system, it might have been waiting for the proper response, the proper transmission that had the right key. I think it's super important because they need to know that we're ready for contact." End quote. Cleveland State University researcher astronomer Jay Reynolds responded with the following: "We have never photographed this object. We are basing it on the evidence. This object is very reflective and also has little thrust, so it's accelerating out, but there's no evidence that this is anything but an asteroid or a comet. So to what gain? Because there's no evidence to suggest that there's anything there to receive a signal, or to respond to a signal. You and I can send out a signal tonight and get a response, but it's not confirmed until someone else does the exact same thing and gets a similar response. So until then it's all speculation. In order for all science to be accepted, it must go through..."
Okay, well, even then, if we do get a response, then what's our next move? Okay, if we don't get one, and if we do, what's our moves after that? I keep asking that question because I don't really think we have a plan. I think we just winging it at this point.
"Through a rigorous investigation, a rigorous confirmation process. But it's people like me that say they may be wasting their time, when in fact they might not be. So give it a look, that would be very exciting. I would be very excited, so go ahead and do it. I'm all for it." End quote. This response was criticised by people online though, saying that is this really the right attitude to have when it comes to life outside of our planet? Telling people that they can do these tests but it won't mean anything until it's peer reviewed. Mr. Hill is working alongside Richard C. Hoagland, who is known for his commentary during the Apollo launches. He said the following: "Just like we're trying to get Oumuamua's attention, if we can get the scientific establishment's attention, then we will have succeeded." End quote. Interestingly, Avi Loeb said something similar, when he suggested that the mysterious space object Oumuamua may be an extraterrestrial probe. He detailed that the object in question is incredibly thin, and had an extra push that made him question its origins. He said the following during an interview: "I said maybe it belongs to another civilization. I just put it in a scientific paper and didn't think much of it. We didn't have any press release. Then it went viral and the public got extremely interested. And the thing that really surprised me is my colleagues were pushing back. They were very upset that this possibility was even mentioned. We had a seminar lecture about this object at Harvard, and a colleague of mine after the lecture said that this object is really weird. I wish it never existed. Now to me, I was really appalled by this. How can you say something like this? You should be happy whatever nature gives you. You learn something new. If it doesn't look right, it actually teaches us how it's a learning experience. We learn that we have to revisit and rethink about the way we view reality. That's a good thing.
But some people are like that though, man. Some people just want to just pretend it's not there, kind of hope that, you know, you can just go on about your day and never really happen. It's not there. If we don't look at it, you know, we don't have to deal with it. Some people have that like mindset. I'm like, nah, bro, it's there. Let's figure this thing out. Ain't no use of trying to run and hide and tuck your tail. No. We need to stand tall and figure out what this is.
That's not a bad thing. You shouldn't always be in your comfort zone. And I think that the future is going to be the same as the past. So I actually see it as a blessing. End quote. Oumuamua showed a really strong non-gravitational acceleration. This tells the researchers that its motion indicated that gravity was not the only thing dictating its path. Many people have put forward their theories, one of which is that this object is extraterrestrial in nature. The fact that it moves like nothing researchers have seen before could indicate that it's under intelligent control. Mr. Siraj, who was the director of interstellar object studies at Harvard's Galileo project, said the following: "The nitrogen conclusion has received a lot of attention. However, we show that the nitrogen model requires a mass of heavy elements that exceed the total quantity locked in stars, the absolute theoretical maximum, which means that the model is ruled out. We don't know what Oumuamua was, we just know that it's not nitrogen, since the mass budget would be untenable. There's no way to know what Oumuamua was since it's already gone. All plausible possibilities, including the artificial origin one, must be kept in mind during observations of future interstellar objects like Oumuamua. All of the existing theories regarding Oumuamua's provenance invoke never-before-seen astrophysical phenomena, including an ultra-porous aggregate 100 times less dense than air, a planet fragment that was tidally disrupted, exotic icebergs made of almost pure hydrogen or pure nitrogen, or a piece of artificial technological equipment. The close-up study of an object like Oumuamua from outside of the solar system, whether natural or artificial in origin, would reveal unprecedented insights about planet formation and life in the universe, transforming humanity's understanding of our place on the cosmic stage." End quote. A.V. Loeb continued with the following: "There are many cultures that existed in the past that we don't have direct access to, but we can find their relics, and I think we should think about space in the same way. It's much more likely that things existed and they're not around anymore, due to self-inflicted wounds or from natural disasters. You can have an asteroid impact or a flare from a hostile sun, something which happened with the planet which basically eliminated life. But until that point, there was a culture that created infrastructure that we can look for, and we can look for megastructures that are left on the planet or around the planet, or a tiny swarm of satellites that were artificially made. We can find things from the surface that indicate there was a war, or you can find technological equipment, artificial lights that exist even though this civilization is dead by now. You can find industrial pollution. Unfortunately, my colleagues are not thinking about these possibilities when they explore planets elsewhere. They are extremely conservative and they focus on primitive life. I don't see why we should put blinders on our telescopes. We should be open-minded to the possibility that we're not alone."
Agreed.
End quote.
Agreed.
So what do you make of these studies and comments?
I agree. And that's the right way to say it too. We should all keep an open mind about what could possibly be out there. You know what I mean? Like, stop trying to act like you don't see it or hear it or it's a possibility, man. I always say the same thing. This universe is entirely too big for us to naively think we're the only ones.
They can't get our planes to fly, but they want to block the sky. Biden's new plan is bold, but it will leave us all cold. the White House is said to be open to considering a radical new way to address global warming by attempting to literally block the sun. That's according to a congressionally mandated report from the Biden administration on the study of something called solar radiation modification, or as they call it around the West Wing, that thing Joe can't pronounce. The concept, known as geoengineering, would involve chemically altering the atmosphere by increasing aerosols and manipulating how and when certain clouds form across the globe. So breathe easy. It's air pollution, but it's good. All that's left is to figure out how Bill Gates can make money off it. Yeah. In theory, the strategy could drastically cool the planet, but it may also disrupt global weather patterns, or worse, make me even paler. That's not me. That's...
Yeah, he looked like a person off like one of them vampire movies, man, with all that stuff, that makeup and stuff on.
I had an albino tell me recently I needed to get some sun. In fairness, the White House said in a statement accompanying the report, there are no plans underway to establish a comprehensive research program focused on solar radiation modification. So rest easy. We're open to blocking out the sun. We're just not doing it yet. But if we do, we're ready to kill people to save the planet. So, Joey, I don't know. I think, did you see The Matrix? They said it was humans who blocked out the sun. They called it. We're not supposed to be messing around with this kind of stuff.
Yeah, but we're supposed to do it.
Exactly. All jokes aside, bro, I don't think this is smart to do, because I don't think we understand what can potentially happen if we do this. We don't know all the factors that could be, we don't. We just don't. We don't know every variable. We just don't. And you're talking about our lives here. No.
In some really cool way, like nuclear war. Like we just guns a-blazing, take everybody out, and if you can get a deep enough hole, you can survive. This is a real weak, just kind of like, just terrible way to do it, right? I'm going to throw a little bacteria or something into the sky and block out the sun, and then like, how do your solar panels work? Or like how do you, what this is an or else scenario. They're saying, if you don't get on board with, not running a gas car or not cooking your pizza, then we're going to block out the sun. So you better get on board. That's what this is.
Yeah. I know. If this wasn't weird, why would they be denying that they're doing it? They're saying, no, there's no plans to do this. But we know they're studying it. We see the literature on it.
They say that all the time, that there's no plans to do that, and then you don't have a gas stove anymore.
Yeah.
They're like, there was no plans to take away your stove that we took away.
Yeah.
But it's funny that we're coming full circle here, because they're using these scare tactics to say don't pollute. And then when we finally don't pollute because they've already taken away our car and our stove and made our air conditioner horrible, they're going to be like, okay, everybody, pollution's good again.
Yeah. Morgan.
Yeah.
I don't really understand the science of this. It's chemicals. They're putting chemicals in the atmosphere, and they hope it's going to reflect the sun back. But they even admit, if we do this, we don't know the side effects. So they want to spray mRNA into the sky. I don't like it.
I grew up in Florida, and I think like everybody I know. Oh, good, Floridians are here. Yay!
Wow.
I feel like everyone from Florida that I know would march on Washington if you try to block out the sun and take away our suntan. Like, Floridians have tan. Also, I remember growing up in the 80s, they told us that aerosol, like, hairspray cans were bad, and everyone was like, they're going to outlaw the hairspray cans. But now we're going to take gargantuan amounts of aerosol and put it in the sky. It makes no sense.
That's it. I spent my whole childhood, they were talking about the ozone.
Right.
You can't spray the ozone. And then so we had to do the pump spray, and the pump spray didn't work.
I'm so vain that I was like, I'll take climate change if you take away my hairspray.
That's right. You can't have that. Hotep, this is unintended consequences. This is the kind of thing that once they do it and then they find out the side effects, it could have the opposite effect, right?
Exactly.
This is the most racist policy ever.
It's racist.
They're literally trying to obliterate me. I feel attacked. You know how much I love the sun? Like, I cannot survive in the cold weather. I'm so anti-white. I can't do it. My bad. But seriously though, this reminds me of the movie Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump, he goes, he's fighting the Vietnam War, and it's like raining and raining and raining and raining, right? And they can't figure out why is it raining. Well, guess what? Apparently there was this thing called Operation Popeye. You probably know about this. He's looking at me like, don't say it, dude.
Well,
don't say
they've been trying to weaponize the weather for a long time.
They've been trying to weaponize the weather for a very long time. He just said it, not me. So, Operation Popeye was basically weather modification. They wanted to make it rain in all these different places, including Vietnam. Henry Kissinger was behind this, et cetera, et cetera. He's behind everything. Anyway, I shouldn't have said that either. I'm totally gonna get shot after this.
They don't shoot people. They'll poison you.
In my case, it's gonna block out the sun. But yeah. So when I look at this and I see this stuff happening, to me, it's not new. They're just telling us what they're already doing or already have done, unfortunately.
Ooh.
And you did touch on that.
That's scary.
What about something where if you're going to block the sun, don't do it in our atmosphere. Put something out in space. Like, you know when they have the, what do you call it when the thing gets in front of the sun? The eclipse, right?
Eclipse, yeah.
What if you just put a satellite up there to just go in front of the sun for like 20 minutes at a time? What do you think of that, Joe?
The solar wind would push it right back into the planet. It would be a massive explosion. It would be awesome, but it would be terrible. But I'll tell you what, there is a little bit of historical precedent for that because a lot of people think that the Little Ice Age happened in the 1300s from volcanic explosions, and that's kind of artificially recreating that to cool the atmosphere. Incidentally, when they talk about a 1.5 degree rise in temperature, they're talking about that from 1870, the end of the Little Ice Age. So we're getting warmer from a really cold, artificially cold through volcanism time period. So is it even that big a deal? I don't think that it is.
Well, that's my question too. What if you do this, right, and then you do it for a small amount of time, you're hoping to drop the temperature in order to stop global warming or slow it down. You do this, but then you're unable to stop the temperature from dropping and send us straight into an ice age. You know what I'm saying? Like he brings a valid point there. What if you do that? There's so many what ifs that it's just like, no, man, just let our planet do its thing, and just like everything else, man, it'll get itself back in line. You just have to hope, or you just have to go through whatever it is we're designed to go through. When we start trying to alternate that, things could be bad.
It is.
What happened there? Joe, did you just turn into a scientist? That kind of threw me.
There wasn't even a script over there. He was saying all on his own.
Little Ice Age. Wow. Okay, coming up, most Americans.
Yeah, man. The more I hear about it, the more I think about it, I just think it could be bad. Now, I could be wrong. So that's why I continue to look up different topics on it, different videos to check it out and see where they are with it. What's the information coming out about it? And yeah, this is something we have to deal with because this is something they are tossing around doing. They're really tossing this around. I feel like news articles and videos and reports, I feel like they come out as a tester. They throw it out there to test to see how we would respond to it. If we don't give any pushback, then they may just proceed with it. So I think it's important for us to continue to stay on top of it and pay attention to what's going on. Stuff is crazy, man, but these are the conspiracies and the theories and the different things that they're doing. So y'all get at me in the comment section, man, and let me know what you thought of these videos, and stick around and stay tuned. Till the next one, I'm gone. Peace.